Namaste friends. So we'll continue with our next part, and next part is nothing but our risk associated with CBS. Correct. Now, what I explained you in almost all the chapters, whenever we are going to use technology, when advantage will come, risk will also come. Okay. So here again, topic earlier it was there in chapter number 1, now it is shifted to chapter number 5. Okay, so old students, November 19 and before older students, you should understand this topic. Earlier it was there in chapter number 1, now it is shifted to chapter number 5. Now first, operational risk. Now you can understand operational means what? Anything which will not, anything which will stop you from doing your regular activities, that is what called fail internal process also, that is what called operational risk. There are three different types of operational risk. Like, look, right now I'm taking a lecture, okay, and if internet is not proper connection, I will not able to take a proper lecture. So that is, for me, it is a operational risk. It is stopping me to take my or doing my activity, teaching activity. Okay, people, process, and legal risk. There are three types of internally, but all 3 points are easy, so don't worry. Credit risk, amount is not going to recover. You have given loans, and we now find that amount is not going to be amount is going to be irrecoverable. Okay, market risk, market fluctuations, share market fluctuations, correct, foreign exchange rate fluctuations. So if you have invested in such kind of their shares and all those exchange foreign currencies, so obviously you are going to face a risk. Strategic risk, a risk which will not, which will stop you to achieve your objectives. That is something called strategic risk, like competitions, changing demand of the customers. Compliance risk, now this is nothing but a legal risk. If you don't follow the rules and regulations of the respected entity which is controlling you, obviously you're going to face compliance risk. And then finally, IT risk. Now after reading this topic, student always ask me, sir, all these risks are not related to CBS. Even I know that. These are actually general risk related to banking activities. It is not related to CBS. But look, when they have shifted, they have thought something. I can't right now connect those things for you guys. Okay. So please understand whatever is there just now, right now, just read it and finish it. Okay. So we'll continue with the next part. Actually, risk associated with CBS, core banking system, a technology. Only this topic should come. IT risk, this topic should come. All the risks which we have learned about are actually general risk which is related to any business, whether it is a banking business or any kind of business we are doing. Okay, but now they have shifted this topic from chapter 1 to chapter 5, and they have kept here. So if they ask risk associated with CBS, you need to write this irrespective of what your logic says. Okay, now, when I say IT risk, if you read very well, IT risk, all risks are actually related to the points which we have discussed in chapter number 3, like ownership of data, who is managing the data, who can access the data, authorization process. Look, whenever someone is modifying any data, is there any authorization process? Now, for example, if I'm updating my home address in my bank account from internet banking, yes, there is a facility. Or another example, an Aadhaar card, when you want to update address in your Aadhaar card, they will not directly accept your address. What they will demand? They will demand for address proof. That is what something called authorization process. So it has to be there, correct? Authentication process, procedures. Now, when I say authentication procedures, is nothing but you can see username and password, personal identification number, one-time password are some of the most commonly used authentication methods. However, this may be inadequate, and hence user entering transaction may not be determinable or traceable, because if you don't keep log files, log, you will not look, I told you, giving username and password is not enough. In chapter number 3, remember, application controls and audit trails, I told you, giving username and password is not enough. You need to trace which user came at what time, what activities he has performed. So which means if you don't implement log files, audit trails, you are going to face risk. Several software interfaces across diverse network. Now in banking, look, database server, remember in the last in the earlier revision lecture we have discussed the different types of servers. Database server is the only server which is going to access by application server. Then application server is actually going to interact with ATM servers, your internet banking servers, your branch. Clients directly can access the application server using the respected web servers, remember. Now understand, when there are so many different servers are going to interact with each other, there is a chance a leakage of data from somewhere. So you also need to secure those things. Maintaining response time. Response time means nothing but what? You need to give timely response to your customer request. And for that, you need to make sure that all the servers technology remain uptime means there should not be a downtime. User identity management, user identity, number of users who are using the your accessing your core banking system application. Every user should require different username, so you will able to track which user has done what activities. Access control is nothing but, I always told you that any users can get the access privilege as per their responsibilities, as per their duties, correct? And incident handling procedures, which is nothing but, if something happens suddenly, some disaster strikes, how will you recover from those disasters? And change management is nothing but, look, whenever there is a modification in settings, application settings, in database settings, in other web services settings, so how those changes should be done? Obviously it should be always done by authorized persons, correct? And there has to be approvals. So look at, they are following that things or not. Okay, there is a process. First you need to send a request for changes, then they will review, they will give approval, and then the changes should be made, and then again it should be reported to the top management whether such kind of procedure we are following or not. That is what called change management. So this is what the risk associated with CBS. The next topic is security policy. Now always remember, in any bank it is not possible to implement security directly. Okay, because look, bank, huge network, technology infrastructures, so many branch, so many users, so they cannot just implementing security by saying everyone should get username and password, implement firewall, implement antivirus at every computers. They cannot say like this. They need a policy. A policy will direct them how to implement security in the organization or within the bank, correct? But look, RBI has given use international standard ISO 27001 2013, which will help you to set security policies, which will help you to set security standards in your organization. So no need to think how we will implement security. There is a ready-made standards, ready-made guidelines which you can follow for your implementing the policies in your bank. Okay, now apart from that, there are some aspect which you need to keep in your mind, like you can see policies, directions. So user security administration, always remember, whenever the security will come into the picture, user security will always come. User security means how you are assigning the username and password, how you are assigning the powers to the users, correct? Then apart from that, application security, how we are setting the different controls into the applications. And apart from that, database security, operating system security, network security, physical security, all those points we have discussed in chapter number 3, remember? Now what they are saying, explain some listing risk and control with respect to information security. So there are some risk. Look, always remember, any controls will give you reasonable assurance, correct? So you need to think from every angle. Now you can see significant information resources may modified inappropriately, which is nothing but integrity, disclosed without authorization, which is nothing but SIA, remember, confidentiality, and unavailable availability. So they are basically talking about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, in such kind of tables, believe me, it will be difficult for you to remember each and every point. So what you're supposed to do in any table, try to suppose look, it will depend on the content of the table. If suppose they have given 10 points in a table, okay, something like this, risk and control, try to remember at least 7 points out of 10 points. So try to select easiest 7 points. Okay, in that also priority, easy, 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 and then little difficult like this. But try to remember 7 points. You are going to get good marks in that 7 point also. Understood? So they are talking about protection of confidentiality, integrity, availability. What they are saying, password of super user or administrator is adequately protected. So admin password should be protected perfectly, so no one can change the security policies, security controls, correct? Now apart from that, lack of management direction, simple management direction should be set. Potential loss of confidentiality, availability, integrity, again the same point, but this time answer is changed. Whenever you buy an application, you should always change the default passwords of that application, so the vendor should not access the application afterwards. User accountability is not established, which means you are not able to identify the users. So what they are saying, all user required to have unique user ID. So if every user will have a user ID, unique user ID, you can able to find out which user has done what activity. It is easier for unauthorized users to guess the password. Don't keep a simple password. keep a complicated or some tough passwords, correct? Minimum length should be there. That is what they are talking about. The point which we have cancelled, okay, you also cancel, no problem in that. Again, potential loss of confidentiality, availability, integrity. And what this time they are saying, physical access restrictions are implemented. Now, physical access is nothing but locks on door. Remember, electronic door lock, biometric. Remember, that is what they are talking about. Chapter number 3, deadman door, fencing, bolting lock. They are physical access restrictions. Next, then they are talking about environmental threat like heat, humidity. Again, chapter number 3, fire. You can see fire extinguishers, temperature maintenance devices, humidity controls. And finally, unauthorized system or data access loss modified due to virus. Now, from where virus will come? From network. So you need to secure network, correct? Now, try to remember in some logical way. It will be very easy for you. Okay. Now, what they are saying next, internal control system in bank. Now, here they are talking about the internal controls. Now, you know a better definition of internal controls than me because you also learned audit, you also learned law, correct? Now, here we have a two different questions. Explain some example of internal controls in branch bank, okay, which means bank. Normal, not related to very related to technology, a normal guidelines overall applicable to the entire bank. And then they will say IT controls in bank. So there are two different topics in particular this topic, okay. One, explain some example of internal controls in bank. This also they have asked in exam. And IT controls in bank also they have asked in the next attempt itself, okay. Now both these answers are the generalized points which we have discussed everywhere. So there is no need to discuss again and again here. Some of the points of IT control I will just help you. Like you can see, the system maintains record of all logs in, logs out. Log, remember, record who came, gone at what time. If transaction is sought to be posted to dormant account which is inoperative or not used since so long. So suddenly if it is used, you need to be careful. You need to be alert, correct? System checks whether amount is withdrawn within the drawing power or not. Look, in obviously uh, in any bank, suppose especially in company. Now you know that company is an artificial entity. So in that company there will be some individuals who has given the authority to sign the check, correct? But then bank should always verify they are signing on the check. They need to check that amount should not be beyond their powers, correct? System flashes a message if the balance in lien account would fall below the lien amount after processing of transactions. Now here, remember the yesterday's lecture. Yesterday means the previous revision lecture of same chapter, of course. I told you for, remember, letter of credit. In my account 50 lakh was there, if you remember. 10 lakh rupees was freezed by whom? Freezed by bank. So right now bank has a right on this 10 lakh lien. Bank has a right on this 10 lakh, and I can only use 40 lakh rupees. Okay, so maximum check which I can use is, or maximum amount which I can utilize is right now 40 lakh rupees, because for 10 lakh I have issued a letter of credit. So till the all that transaction will not settle, this 10 lakh rupees I cannot use. Understand? Now suppose if I issue a check of 40 lakh rupees and 1 rupees, 40 lakh and 1 rupees, obviously it is going to affect this value 10 lakh rupees. That is what they are saying. System flashes a message if the balance in lien account, lien means this 10 lakh rupees, would fall below lien amount. Lien amount is this 10 lakh rupees. This 10 lakh rupees is freezed into the separate account. Right now the right on that account is of bank. 10 lakh rupees is a lien amount. Understand? 10 lakh rupees is a lien amount. When I go for letter of credit, they will freeze that 10 lakh rupees and they will shift to the other account. And that account is temporary with the bank. Understand this? Actually, this process occurs in the bank. Okay. After processing of transaction. So if you process this 40 lakh and 1 rupees, obviously your balance is going to go below 10 lakh rupees. What they're saying, it should not happen. If it is happening, system should flash a message. Access to system is available only between stipulated hours, like banking hours. Simple. Individual user I can access only specified directories and files. The power which is given to the individual, they should use only those much things. Exception situation like limit access, reactivating dormant account, etc. can be handled by supervisory level password. Now I told you supervisory level password. Right now we can consider him branch manager. Okay, a user timeout is prescribed. If I don't do anything on my system for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, automatic log off should occur. Once end of day process is over, ledgers cannot be opened without again supervisor level password. So once they have finished every, at the end of the day, they have finished all the activities, and in some suddenly some transaction will come in front of them because they have closed the ledger balances. And if another important transaction is coming without the permission of branch manager, they cannot process that new transactions. That is what they're talking about in IT controls. Okay, so these are your IT controls. Internal control have two topic: internal controls in bank branch, which is easy, that's why I have not discussed, and IT related controls in bank is another topic. Both the questions they have asked in back to back exams. Okay, now we'll go for application software. Now application, here they are talking about core banking software. Now I told you that core banking software is nothing but it is something like ERP software for the bank. ERP, remember chapter number 2? Yes. Now, when you remember chapter number 2, suddenly configurations, masters, transitions, reports should come in your mind. Same topic, same explanation we also learned in chapter number 1, if you remembered. Okay. So guys, here they have given same configurations. Configuration means setting up of parameters before using the software. Masters, setting up of parameters for purchase, sales, different ledgers, different groups. They are known as masters, and they are always permanent in nature. Transactions is nothing but the actual journal entries like purchase, sales, payment, receipts. Correct? Yes or no? So here, same concept: configuration, masters, transactions, and reports. Concept will remain same, but if you read the internal points, it is as per bank. It will be as per bank. But if you actually compare chapter number 1 configuration and their examples and this examples, you will find 3 to 4 points are common. You just check that. But when you talk about masters after that, so here a masters will consider related information related to banks. There it will be related to accounts. In chapter number 1, related to accounts. Transactions, if I talk about here, deposits, advances, ECS, there you will find purchase, sales, payments, say, receipts like this. And finally, reports. Again here, reports, obviously it is related to what? It is related to bank. Now the report is something standard also, you can say, and customize also as per user also. Sometimes user demands some specific things, that is what called customized report. Balance sheet, profit and loss, ledger summaries, they are standard reports. Correct? And these are some of the examples of report, but again these reports are as per bank. Okay, so these are very simple topics which you can manage on your own. And again you will get same risk and IT controls. Now I already explained you one risk and controls earlier in security controls. Here you can manage on your own. Most of the topics are simple, the things which we have done in the class. Okay, again I'm saying, if 10 points are given, try to cover 7 points. So try to take a ratio of 70%. Always remember, don't leave any topic. Remember the concept: something is better than nothing. Okay, something is better than nothing. Okay, so these points are simple. Just go through it and you will able to understand, or at least try to remember the things which I have done underline. Okay, look, in revision we need to do more important concepts. If I read 1111, you will get bored, or some people will get bored. So I need to consider all the aspects while explaining the contents in revision lectures. Okay, and look guys, you have my numbers. If you don't understand any of the point, you know that you can message me at any point of time. Okay, now so we'll proceed with the next topic. Now, as we are doing banking, so you should understand bank has some processes, standard processes. Okay, so here total 6 different processes they have explained, which is the core processes of banking system. Like first is CASA, current account, saving account, then credit card, then of course mortgage loan. Apart from that, we also have treasury management. Correct? Okay, apart from that, corporate loans, terms finance. And look, now this processes, all this processes, what is the best part in this processes? The process of every this CASA or credit card will be same. Like for example, if you read this, explain the process of process flow of CASA facility, then you will see that, you will see very well. You need to apply online, or you need to go to the bank. Then you will meet the relationship manager. Look at this words very well. Okay, now relationship manager will explain you everything. Once you will say yes, he will ask for your identity. Correct? KYC, know your customer. So you need to submit your identity proof, your income proof. Then once your income proof will be submitted, then the next credit team will come into the pictures. They will verify your financial positions. If they will find appropriately, then the process will approve, and finally your current account or saving account will get opened, and finally you can do all the activities. Now the same words you will find in every process. Okay, CS. So guys, those things we are not going to discuss. Another aspect which I'm going to tell you, smart concept. Okay, now in every process you will find, in every process you will find risk and control. Okay, risk and control. Yes, in every process you will find this. Now what is the best part? In CASA, current account, saving account, in credit card, and in term finance or corporate finance. Okay, now in this three topic. Okay, current account, saving account, second credit card, and the third is term finance, corporate loans, which we are going to see right now. In this tables, risk and control, 4 points are common. This first 4 points, try to remember this first 4 points. Okay, first 4 points, common points. So if they ask risk and control related to CASA, or they ask risk and control related to credit card, or if they ask risk and control related to term finance, corporate loans, corporate finance, the answer will remain same. Just write out this 4 points, common 4 points. Understood? Yes. And earlier I just discussed that there are 6 processes, but obviously here only 5 processes they have given right now. Okay, now look at very carefully credit line setup. Now when I talk about CASA, of course here I'm talking about current account. In current account, obviously you know that you get overdraft facility, and that overdraft facility will have a limit. That is what here credit line, overdraft credit line, okay, is unauthorized. So what they are saying, the credit committee checks the financial ratios, everything, and after that only they will approve the credit line. Second, credit line setup in CBS is unauthorized. Now what they are saying, access right to authorized credit limit is given to authorized person only. Customer master defined. Now what is customer master? Customer name, their address, their PAN card, their date of birth, all those details is not in accordance with the pre-disbursement certificate, PDC, pre-disbursement certificate. So what they are saying here, access rights to authorized customer master in CBS is restricted to authorized person. Now what is the meaning of this access rights to authorized person? The meaning is very simple, guys. Here actually we use a concept of a person who is actually getting the data from the customer, and the person who is entering the data will not be seen. Okay, same person cannot enter the data. There is always a hierarchy, and everyone has their unique powers, what they can approve, what they can not approve, like this. So always remember this thing. In bank we always have a hierarchies. In bank you just go and you will tell, give me bank loan, give me bank loan. If you are eligible for 5 lakh, you will say give me 7 lakh, 8 lakh rupees. They cannot give like you this. Okay, they have a procedures. Once they have said they can only issue 7 lakh rupees, then they will be able to issue only 7 lakh rupees as per their rules and regulations. Okay, and a fourth point, you can see inaccurate interest charges being calculated. Look, always remember, this is a common point. Everywhere you will find this point. Okay, incorrect interest or charges being calculated in when you are using system. Okay, then interest or charges are automatically calculated because everything is pre-feeded. Interest rates, charges are already fit into the system. So when you qualify for any of the penalties, no users are charging you anything, system is charging you everything. Okay, so it is always automatically calculated what will come in that answers. Okay, so these 4 points are common in CASA, in credit card, and in term finance. Try to remember these things. Okay, now once you finish this, you will get a credit card process. Again, here all the topics are very simple. How you will get the credit card, second how you will use the credit card, and the third will be how the credit card settlement will be done. Damn simple, no technical points. Okay, and same you will find risk and control. You can see 1, 2, 3, and fifth point, common points. Rest of the points also you can read, but I'm just giving you a smart study. 4 points, common points. Okay, next you will get business process flow of mortgage. Now mortgage is nothing but the home loans, correct? When you need to give your property as a mortgage to the bank, and then they will issue a loan on your property. Now home loan, traditional loan, fixed rate, which means irrespective of economic change your interest will remain same. Another is fluctuating, or you can say flexible rate of interest. As economy increase, rate of interest increase, they will charge higher. Rate of interest will down. Right now, believe me, a golden era is going on for home loans. Golden era, guys. Okay, so if you are thinking of buying a home loan is a better option. Top up loan is nothing but, you know what, I already took a loan. Now I want to furnish my house, so I can get additional loan, that is called top up loan. Obviously it condition apply. First of all, your home value should be bigger and your loan amount should be smaller, then only you can go for top up amount or top up loans. And loans under construction property, construction is going on and you just bought the property in that building, but look, building is not ready, occupation certificate is not received, then it is called loan under construction property. Their calculations will be different. Then the ready-made flat is ready and you take the loan, yes, but these are the internal talk of the bank. Don't get into details, okay? Whatever is given in our book, very simple language, follow those things, okay? Now next you will get explain the process for mortgage loan. Now here also same thing is written. Relationship manager will meet you, he will explain you the different types of loan, different types of interest, fixed rate of, variable rate of interest. Then obviously once you will say yes, then they will go for the KYC. You need to give all the documentations. Then you need to give that documentation will given to the credit card, credit, sorry, not credit card, credit team. Now credit team will verify all the information, financial information given in the income evidence. But the most important thing here, he will wait for the NOC from two different departments. One is legal department, yes, the title of the property should be clear, correct, yes or no? And of course, look, the value of the property should be a fair value, so that also they are very very important. So, and apart from that, your credit rating will also be checked. You can see credit information bureau, CIBIL rating will also taken into consideration. So you can see here, one is legal team and another you can find, I see, a fair value valuation team. And when both the team will give you the what, NOC, then only you will proceed. And once the everything is clear, they will issue the loans. And once you get the loan, then you have a right that you can modify the rate of interest time to time, correct? Okay, so wait, and we'll proceed with the next thing. So we'll continue. You know, there is some technical problems are going on, that's why I told you wait, and now we are continuing. So once we get NOC from both the department, I told you that loan will be issued. And then once the loan you will receive, in the future you have a right that you can modify the tenure of the loan. You can also ask for the change in the rate of interest when the economy change, if you have gone for the variable rate of interest. Okay, so this is what the normal procedures. And then again you will find risk and control related to this particular mortgage process, but these are again very simple. Here there is not any except, there is no common points, but the points are very simple. Okay, and if you just what I want to explain you, if you see very 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 smartly, see the first 2 points, first these 2 points. Okay, and now see the answer. There is a secondary review performed by independent team, there is a secondary review performed by independent member team, same answer. Okay, interest amount is incorrectly calculated. I told you that. You can see interest amount is auto calculated. This is, I told you, in a common point everywhere you can write. So if you even see this table very smartly, you will able to understand how to complete this table. Okay, so we'll proceed with the next point, treasury process. Now when I talk about treasury process, basically look, bank also has an separate department for investment activities. Okay, like earlier bank was doing only traditional activities, like what, accepting deposits and giving loans. Now bank told to the RBI, to the government, that sir, it is not possible for us to, whatever amount we are getting as a deposits, every amount we can utilize as a advances or loans, so we are not able to earn. So give us a freedom, like we can also invest, like an individual, like in company, we can also invest. So this treasury process came after that. Okay, now basically first 2 points are the different areas where they can invest. Now but look, when the bank will start this department, treasury department, they need to understand, they need a separate team for those investment activities. So they have created a separate department and a separate team, chartered accountants, or people who are very experienced in share markets and investment activities, all those things. And what they have done, because of segregation of duties concept, they have divided this department, treasury department, into three parts: front office, middle office, and back office. Now, when I talk about front office are dealers. Dealers are nothing but our own employees who will get the deals from the different segments. Then that deals details, everything will get entered. But look, they will not approve. They will get the deals. They will enter the details. Now, second topic will come middle office. Now, what middle office will do? Documentation part of the entire deals, related to entire deals, will be done by middle office. And finally, back office operations, where approvals, accounting, and the other suppose whatever the legal compliances you need to follow if you invest internationally, so everything will be done by back office operations. So front office, they will get the deals. Middle office, final documentations, finally approvals, and all the legal compliances and accountings. Okay, so this is what your treasury department in simple short notes. Okay, now once you complete this, again you will get this particular diagram. Now try to remember this 3 point: 1, 2, and 3: front office, middle office, and back office. This they can frame in MCQ. Okay, so try to remember those points. And after that also you will get what? Risk and controls. Okay, so again same thing, points are very easy, you can easily complete those points. And finally, loans and trade finance, this is, they are talking about the corporate finance. Again the process will same, nothing different, process will same. Okay, in my notes just risk and control topic came after this. Don't worry, this is the process for term finance. Process are damn easy, no technical points, so you can read and you can manage on your own. When you see the table, risk and control table of this topic, four common points you will get. You can see total 7 points, but 1, 2, 3, and 7, they are common points. Apart from common points, you can at least try to remember one extra point, and that will give you an advantage over other people. Okay, look, you should do hard work, but where you should do hard work? In smart work. First define your work and then put your hard work. That is more important. Okay, now once you complete all this processes, other topics will come into the picture, like Basel 3. Now basically Basel is nothing but a small town in Switzerland. A long years back, over there a meeting was conducted by the 10 different countries. The main bank, what you can say, like we have a Reserve Bank of India. From their central bank's chairmen, their meeting was conducted, and they have discussed how we can improve the banking. They have shared the ideas with each others, what other countries are following, how inter-country banking can be improved. So that guidelines was known as Basel 1. Then every year improved version came. Right now we are discussing Basel 3. Here only 2 or 3 points are very important. It will again give you the guidelines regarding the banking only, how you can strengthen your banking regulations. But apart from that, right now the sudden economic shocks which comes into the economy, how can you deal with such kind of shocks? Like for example, in 2016 we all have faced demonetization, which was also a shock for banking. Correct. So they will also know how to deal with such kind of sudden process. So Basel 3 will give them guidelines how you can absorb this economic shocks. And apart from that, bank, where always data just enter, there is no deletion of data, it is just entering of the data, storing of the data. So understand, they are also going to face what? Big data problem. So what they are suggesting now, include artificial intelligence in your data warehouse to analyze the data, so it will give you the useful information. Based on that we can take decisions. Okay, so this is what simple explanation of Basel 3. Now once you complete Basel 3, you will get applicable regulatory and compliance requirement. What I will suggest is a self study, very simple topic. Next, money laundering. Money laundering is nothing but a process where you will convert your dirty money into the clean funds. Okay, I gave you an example of Shivaji the Boss, Rajnikant movie. If you remember this movie, here he collected the black money from everyone, and then he know that he cannot use black money legally, so he shifted that black money from one currency to another one country to another country, one currency to another currency. Remember, from Indian rupees to dollar, US dollar. So people will start with a place called placement. Then he was knowing that, okay, that how he will get all those monies converted into white. So once it is converted, okay, he told his friends that divide into small amounts, give it to your relatives, tell them to deposit in their accounts. This is what called layering, where you are converting the amount into very small funds, different formats, and again making it legally. Understood? And final stage is integration. He told all the people, no, give that thing into the Shivaji Trust as a donation in India. So all the black money went outside, converted into white fund dollars, and again it came back to legally. Legally, it came back to India, correct, in form of donations in that trust. That is what called integration point. Okay, so placement, layering, and integration are the three stages of money laundering. For this also, I gave you that one of the video also. If you remember those videos, right now in revision lectures, I will not continue with that video. Next point we will discuss is nothing but the cyber crime. Now understand, initially the crime which we were watching was happening physically. Now if you want to harm someone, no need to go and fight with him, or use your bad words and something like, don't physically. Now you can not harm, but you can harm them mentally by hacking their computers, by hacking their cell phones, leaking important or some sensitive data to the public. This is what called cyber crime, a crime which you are doing using technologies, computers, cell phones, internet. Understood? That is what called cyber crime. I will always suggest my every student, whenever you get a call from someone who's asking for OTP, who's asking some sensitive information like bank account numbers or anything else, sensitive personal data, or they are saying that, okay, we are sending you email, just click on the link and fill the form. Please, please, please don't click on unknown links. It will be harmful for you guys. In a single click, it may wipe out your entire data, or they will get all the details from your cell phones. Understood? And for this also, I actually, in my lecture, I gave you that example of that Mr. Modi. He is shown in the video live hacking. Remember cell phone live hacking? Those who are my students, they know I have given this video in my video lectures also. Okay. And then again, small topic which you can complete on your own. Next, Banking Regulation Act, some small informations, 1949, amendment in 1965, amendment in section 56 to cover state cooperative banks. All those informations are very simple informations. Negotiable Instrument Act, self-study because you have done in your foundation. And then Reserve Bank of India will come into the picture. 1935, established as per the Act of 1934. Three important functions like monetary authority, CRR ratio, SLR, maintaining the price stability. Remember, that is monetary authority. Second, how the bank will function, what services will be free, how much free services, how much charges they should charge. Everything will be done by RBI guide. And issuer of currency, a new currency they issue. We know that, correct? And now we, after demonetization, we have seen new 10 rupees note, 20 rupees note, 50 rupees note, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 500 rupees, and 2000 rupees, correct? Yes. So after this, you will get a topic called Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Again, I told you in lecture also, here also, they have not explained in detail about this act, some important words also, and directly they have started with the sections. Okay. So I recommended my students that, okay, download Prevention of Money Laundering Act from the uh, uh, search in Google and download the notes online of this entire notes. Then I hope you know that section 2, all the terminologies like a reporting entity, directors. Okay, read those terminologies very well. Almost simple. And I have told you this thing in my video lectures also. And then only start reading this. Look, basically this section is same like bare act of other sections. Okay, so there will not be so many problems. Now once you know the terminologies, okay, then the sections will be very easy for you. Like section 3, offenses of money laundering. Whoever directly or indirectly attempts to induce or knowing assist or knowingly party to or is actually involved in any process or activity connected with the proceeds of crime. Proceeds of crime means black money, including its concealment, possession, acquisition, or use of projecting or claiming it as untainted property, shall guilty of offenses of money laundering. Now, simple point. Now, apart from that, you can see suddenly chapter 4 will come into the picture. So in most of the Bar Act, they have divided the chapters in they have divided the sections into small chapters. A number of sections will contain one chapter like this. Okay. Now reporting entity to maintain record. Here reporting entity. If you just understand the meaning of this, then the entire explanation will be easy. Reporting entity means here bank. Okay, because we are in chapter number 5. So the bank need to follow guidelines of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, because for converting black money into white money, one of the source simple way method is bank. So bank need to keep their eye on all the transactions which are happening in their bank, on different accounts, fraud transactions, suspicious accounts, suspicious transactions. Correct. So that's why they are talking about reporting entity to maintain records. Understood. Now, once you know reporting entity is bank, now when you read this particular section, it will be damn easy for you. Okay. Same way, when some reporting entity will get into a fraud of money laundering, or they in their involvement, is presence, their presence is there in that fraud. So government will appoint a director. Government will appoint a director as per section 49 of the same act, which is not there in our syllabus. I'm giving you knowledge. So here, when I talk about the director, it is not the director of the bank. Here, this director means government appointed a person to watch, to see and the entire that money laundering case. And look, what is that power of director to impose fine? And once you know this director is appointed by government, and then when you read this thing, it will be damn easy for you what this section says. Okay. Now, next thing you will get is punishment for false information or failure to give information act, etc. Now here's something like a person who actually involved in this particular process of crime, like in money laundering case, and he is guilty as per section 3, which we have learned first. Then it is important, or it is his duty, whenever he will be asked any questions, or he will be, he need to present somewhere, he need to present some facts, and if he will not able to present those facts, or he will not able to present at that place, or he will willfully give wrong statements, you understand, the person who arrested or who just got caught as per section 3, I'm talking about as per section 3. Okay. It is his responsibility to give all the correct information to the investigating team. Correct. So if he don't give correct information, or if he would have told that you need to reach here at this time, this date, he will not present over there, he will not present the facts, then this section will come into the picture. Okay. Next, offenses by company. Now here, very simple. They are talking about, if, look, when company is an artificial entity, so when anything happens in company, a case of money laundering, obviously company will not be responsible. Then who will be responsible? Either the employees who are working over there, or the officers or directors or secretary. Do you understand? They will be responsible, because human being will do fraud. Artificial company, artificial entity cannot do frauds. So here they are talking about those people who were there at the time of fraud, they are responsible for the fraud, and they will be, they will get a punishable, well, it is a punishable offense. But always remember, whenever you catch someone, whenever you hold responsible for something, you should always give an opportunity of being heard. You should give them opportunity. Okay. This is what also here mentioned. Okay, if the person is, proving that without his knowledge the crime was happened, then he's not liable. Or he tried everything in his power to stop such kind of fraud in the company, but still he couldn't able to stop. He tried everything, but he couldn't able to stop. Then obviously he's not guilty. That is what they are talking about in section 70. So these are the 5 different sections from Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, once you will complete with those things, you will get Information Technology Act. Okay. Now, Information Technology Act, the details, backgrounds, we have discussed, advantages, offenses, we have discussed in chapter number 1. Here, they are going to explain some definitions. I will recommend you try to remember these definitions from MCQ point of view, like 2A for access, 2I for computers, 2J for computer network, 2O for data, and 2V for information. Now, here also they have explained some of the sections, like section 43 provides for penalty and compensation for damage to computer system, etc. Different things are given. If anyone without my permission, my means what? Suppose I am the owner of the resource, I am the owner of computer resources, or without me, or the person who in charge in my absence, a person who is in charge in my absence, without the permission of me or person in charge, if someone try to access my computers, damage my computers, modify my data, they provide suppose viruses they are inputting in our systems. They are hiring the hackers to hack our systems. They are assisting someone else to hack our systems. They are getting using our services, and we need to pay the bill for services. So these are the different crimes which will comes under section 43. But remember, 43, any crime done by your employees, yes, company cannot deny. Always remember this thing very well. In this year November 20 RTP, they have given a case study question. Suppose I am a service provider, I'm providing services to Apple. If my employee will leak Apple's data, Apple will not held liable my employee, Apple will held liable to me, and I am liable to pay compensation to Apple. I need to pay compensation to Apple, because even my employee, whatever act my employees are doing, I am responsible for those things. Understand? 43A. 65, tampering with the computer source document. Computer source document is nothing but the actual coding of the system. So if someone modifies the actual system's coding or try to leak those coding to the someone else, then they will come under 65. 66, computer related offenses. But if you see very well, penalty related section 43 is actually given in 66. So please always remember, penalty related to section 43 is given in section 66. Then apart from that, we have a 66B, punishment for dishonestly receiving stolen computers. Now someone is selling me cell phone. Okay, someone is selling me cell phone. I know that that cell phone is actually of robbery, thief, stolen. Okay, still I'm purchasing that much cell phone from him. So this is what they're talking about. Okay, that is a wrong activity. I know that it is stolen, still I'm purchasing. So whenever that other guy will get caught, even I'm going to go for jail, free time food, 2 times free food, free homestay, a good vacation. Okay. 66C, punishment for identity theft. Someone is stealing my identity, like my iCard, my smart card, my signature. Okay, that is what they're talking about. Punishment for identity theft. Punishment for cheating by personation. Someone created my Instagram account and they are telling other students that I am Jignesh Cheda. So this is what called punishment for cheating by personation. He's giving impression to the students that he is Jignesh Cheda, but he is not Jignesh Cheda. Understand? Okay, someone created a fake profile of me and portraying every students. It is portraying that I am Jignesh Cheda, and if students will believe, and if something will happens, understand, they may make you me liable, but then I need to prove I am not there. Someone created fake profile for me. Okay. Punishment for violation of privacy. If I told you without your permission, if someone click your pic and other things it which is written, I told you in class also, I cannot read publicly the things which is written, so it will come under punishment for violation of privacy. And finally, if you remember, sensitive personal data information, SPDI, in chapter number 1 it was also there. Here they are repeating section 43A, so ignore that thing. But if you remember, I told you that in chapter 1 also, what is sensitive data. I have admitted into hospital and hospital has now some sensitive information about me. So should declare to someone third party without my knowledge? Bank can declare my financial transactions, my amounts to someone else? No. So it is their responsibility. Correct? Understood? Just do one thing, read very well this sensitive personal data information. Okay. Okay, so read sensitive personal data information very well, and you will find that basically you can see sensitive personal data or information which consists of password, financial information. If you see physical, psychological, mental disorder, same wording was there in chapter 1 also, and over there also I told you MCQ. Now read the next paragraph. One of the largest stakeholder of SPDA includes bank, apart from insurance companies, financial institutions, hospitals, educational institutions, service providers, travel agents, payment and social, etc. Now here I will say such kind of things they can use for framing MCQ. Yes, this details you should understand. Okay. And after this SPDI, your last topic is privacy policy. Now this is again very simple, so you can go for self study. Okay, so with this we are completing chapter number 5 revision also. Okay, so all the best. If you have any doubts, you know my number very well, and you can send me the message, WhatsApp, Telegram, email. Okay, that you have some doubts and I will solve your doubts very well. Okay. So thank you very much. All the best. God bless you. Please, please, please write your paper with a smartness. Don't overwrite in the paper. Understand? We are CA students, not commerce students. It is not quantitative approach. It is a qualitative approach in our exams. Okay? Clear? So thank you very much. Bye bye.